Welcome to Meeple, uniting players from around the world. A 30-minute exploration of PJ and Gareth's board game experiences from across both sides of the Atlantic. Each episode, they share their thoughts and opinions on the world of board games, including their favourite themes, games, hot topics, and much, much more.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 41. And let me just say, welcome to the Rococo era, where Louis XV reigns in France, and it's the height of fashion. You guessed it. We're going to talk about the long-awaited conversation, Rococo, the deluxe edition by Eagle Gryphon Games. I, as always, am PJ.
And I'm Gareth, looking forward to talking about Rococo.
Rococo!
We've talked about this game, I think, on numerous episodes in the last 40. And I think we thought we'd just do a one-shot talking about this amazing high deluxe components, typical for Eagle Gryphon games. If you've seen any of those, I guess any of the Vital games, it's in the same size box, the same level of components, beautiful. And you get to make clothes.
And jewelry.
Which you either are going to use to sell the clothes to people who need them for the balls, or you're just going to sell them and rent them out for cash. Sell them for cash.
Right. Exactly. You and I have been talking about wanting to set aside time to have a discussion about this game. And for those of our dedicated listeners, you've heard us. Here it is. This game took, I think, both of us. It grabbed us by the horns, metaphorically.
It was one of those games that, because this is like the deluxe edition, the original, which is like 2020. The original came out in 2013.
Yes.
And weirdly, the box art and the theme at that point, I was not interested.
No, not at all.
It's weird, isn't it? Weird how like a reprint or just a change of art style puts a game in focus. I mean, it's a 2 to 5 player game. It's not overly complicated, which is one of the things I love about this game. Is actually it's very easy to teach. Kind of 3 out of 5, kind of its weight.
3.04, I believe.
And we play this. I think I've only ever played this 2 players.
Me too.
Oh, so it says it's best with 3, but I mean, we get this done in about an hour as well. It's pretty fast.
Yes.
It doesn't hang around on the table too long. And yeah, I mean, it's not a cheap game. It's one of those because of the production values. But yeah, you're basically you're a distinguished tailor, basically looking to gain prestige. You've got employees who you're going to play one of those to the table and carry out the actions.
And if you like deck builders, that's the deck builder component. Because your staff.
Yeah, because your staff have kind of got different symbols. You've got, I guess, the masters. I think they've got gold symbols. Yep. Then you've got silver and you've got bronze. And I guess the guys at gold can do any space, whether the guys in the bronze symbols going to do some of the more, I guess, simpler tasks like gathering cloth and materials, those kind of things.
That's like your apprentice, right?
Apprentice, yeah.
Yeah, go get me some fabric.
Yeah, in each round, basically, you're looking to gather fabric, gather thread, ruffles, silk, I think it is. And then there's different dress styles that come up, different combinations of those, which has kind of got like not a bidding mechanic, but the longer you leave it, the cheaper they are, but other people are going to snatch them. So a little bit of set collection, collecting the right goods to convert, I guess, all collecting orders. And then, there's different cards every round, and the game is run through a timer of these extra cards you buy. So every round, those cards appear. End of round, those cards are gone forever. So you really are trying to grab them as you can, but you only get, is it 3 cards a turn to play out of the 5?
So you only get 3, but if you hire a new worker, they go right into your hand.
Yeah.
For use immediately. So absolutely.
Timing is everything.
And then there's an expansion that came with the game when we bought it. that added the jewelry.
Yeah, so I've not played that. So how's that?
Okay, so either as you know, you're building either a night evening gown or a men's frock coat, and it's Rococo. So if anyone knows the Rococo art style, oranges and lime greens and bright blues, pinks. So if you do the gown in pink, you make the matching pink necklace to go with it.
Okay, I need to try this. So it's not too much complexity added.
For men it's like a ring, for women it's like a necklace, and it gives you bonus points when you place them in the hall, which is cool. This is very cool. And the pieces are, like you said, like the plastic ruffles. And,
ruffles, yeah.
And plastic white ruffles, the metal coins are amazing. And that comes with the game. Like, I don't know that there's
standard. I mean, we have, the only thing we've done is we have sleeved them because the cards are heavily used. But it's one of those games that, anyone says I want to play, I'm like, yep, I'll teach this.
Absolutely.
It's just a beast of a box. So it's one of those games that you don't generally take on the move.
No,
listen to totally our other episode on games on the move. But yeah, so you are collecting fabrics, you're making dresses or frock coats, but you also get a chance to decorate the ballrooms. And there's, I'm going to say five ballrooms on the board. Maybe 6. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 6.
I think
in my head.
Is there 6?
Might be 7.
I think.
And they've got different scoring.
To be fair, the board is huge.
I mean, it's huge.
And the hall takes up the bulk of it. So if we're wrong about the number of halls,
it doesn't matter.
No. Nope.
But you are so each of the halls has got different scoring. It's like it's got majority scoring. If you've got the most of the people wearing your clothes, you get bonus points for if you've got the most decorations. And then one of my favorite bits is that you can position people up to score on the balcony where there's a fireworks display at the end.
Yes,
and that, if you get that right, which is basically each of the dresses you've made, costumes you've made, has got points, but you can get a multiplier, and those spaces are quite limited and they're quite expensive to influence. So once you're in there, that can often be one of those sort of game adjustments. If you haven't quite kept up, bam, 12, 15, 20 points. It's generally quite close. Every game we've played, it's been 5 or 6 points.
Yes. So you play one of your cards, which your staff members, to take a corresponding action. When you build a gown or a frock, you have the option of selling it right away for the points, or putting it in one of the 6 or 7 or 5 halls, whichever it is.
I'm looking. Right?
So there's and that's what's interesting too, because there's a little bit of area control, because you're trying to, because whoever has, you have like a little wooden chit that you put on the gown to say, I designed this.
Yes.
And at the end of the game, right, we score each hall who has the most, like it's not really who has the most, it's how many people are wearing your.
Yeah, it's that influence. I mean, you want to be seen in the latest fashion,
exactly,
by PJ. I mean, who wouldn't want to be dressed in that style of garish pink and blues?
I don't know.
Be like a Mardi Gras at this rate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. So yeah, each hall gets scored, and it's like, oh well, PJ's people, people are wearing PJ, or they're wearing Gareth, whoever. And you get so many points, and then second place is so many points, etc., etc. And then at the end is the main hall where Louis XV's kind of throne or whatever.
That throne, yeah.
And that's when you move them up to the balcony to see the fireworks after you score the hall. So it's like you've scored the halls and you've gotten your points, and now we're going to go out on the balcony and look at the fireworks.
It's like the special guests, the extra influence to go and hang out and observe the fireworks.
Because it's not about you, the designer. It's about the influence of the upper class,
the prestige,
wearing you. Yeah.
Your name in the back. And
That's
yeah, I find it's usually pretty nail biting. I do find that it's quite tense because I try not to keep up and keep scoring. But it's enough in the game that it's just a very enjoyable, not too complicated, medium weight, hand management, settee collection, the
deck building, there's
order
income,
management.
yes, resource
Yeah.
management.
And
You gotta.
And do you see? I very rarely sell clothing. Maybe once if I've not managed my income. Generally, I find that I'm getting the cash in the way I need it to get, and then maybe I might sell one. Everything else, I'm making gowns to influence.
You know what happens? Well, so I'll tell you what happens to me is that Katie's usually in the first position. So she manages to get the best staff members. So she's always got more cards in her hand so she could take more actions. And that's it. Then you lose.
You do need to grab those gold. If you can grab a gold
you do.
assistant or a master, because those also, there are certain spaces in the halls, and there's 5 halls I've just checked, plus the balcony.
Okay.
And certain spaces, if you do design a dress and it's worn and it was actually threaded and built or constructed using a master golden worker, then there are extra special spaces in the middle of the board.
Right.
So there's even like if you can get the engine that you've got 3 gold workers in your hands, you're pretty much opening yourselves up for every space on the board. It's a delightful.
It really is. So you've got this beautiful game, this huge board. It's Eagle Griffin, and it's Ian O'Toole. So a testament to his art design.
Oh
right?
yeah, good point.
Right, because it looks like a Lacerda game, but it was not designed by Lacerda. But the artwork is Ian O'Toole, who works with Lacerda. You get it.
Yeah.
You know what we haven't talked about? The bags.
Oh yeah, because they're embroidered.
Yes.
I'm going to say letters on the front now. I can't remember what they say, but
it says Rococo.
Really, yes, it does.
Oh,
yeah,
it's so good.
The production quality is typical Eagle Griffin games. It's just, there's 2 bags. One is got for the jewelry, isn't it? And one is for drawing.
One is for the gowns.
The gowns, that's right.
The other one's for the fabric, which goes in the drawers.
Yeah.
And the third one is for the jewelry that goes with the.
That's right.
Gowns. Yeah. No, it's a superior design. Insert is well thought out. Game pieces. It's just a good game.
Yeah,
and it's worth playing, and I'm really glad we had the opportunity to talk about it.
And what I think, trying to think what other games are like it. Theme wise, the closest theme by about 200 years is Obsession. There, I mentioned it, so I got that in. And then, I can't think of many other games in that period. So I'm gonna have
that's Louis the 15th in France. So, what time period is that? I don't know, but I'm not gonna waste too much time looking. But yeah,
I think game wise it's about $120.
Yeah,
so it's not a cheap one. But if you are looking for something to, it's lovely, absolutely delightful game that just works, simple to teach.
Yes,
I think it keeps everyone's engaged throughout the game. It's pretty fast plays as well. There's not much.
I'm reading it right now. It is 7 rounds, so that timer, and you're done. So you're not going to be slugging it out over 3-4 hours. Yeah,
and it plays 1 to 5,
which is great.
Yeah, generally it's not. 1 to 4 looks like it's pretty much on the money. 5, I can imagine, could start to drag a little bit.
I could definitely see that. Definitely, I think 3 to 4 is a sweet spot. But I've had great fun at 2. And it sounds like you've enjoyed it at 2 players as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I'm gonna now need to try somebody to try it with 3. But that is Rococo. Rococo Deluxe Edition. Make dresses for the prestigious ball while managing your deck of employees. What more fun could you have? With that, is your checkout on this Super Sprint episode. See you all soon.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Please subscribe, and as always, we love to hear your thoughts and ideas. So make sure to leave those in the comments. And don't forget, you can also chat with us both on Instagram at Meeple to Meeple.